right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Discipline Debbie podcast. I'm your host, Dio Discipline, alongside me, Sue Sotomayor, your other host. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite, roll a blunt, but make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversations prepare your mind to be fed. Like when I inhale life and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Debbie podcast.
We're
We're here.
here.
Y'all know why you're back. All right. To come and get this work again. Yeah. Just quick. I'm just gonna run through it because I just want to get into
Okay.
the topic. As you can see here, the mugs. So links are in the description. Below. Um, to be a Patreon member, same thing. You know, every week we say the same thing, so it should be embedded in your subconscious already. What we talk about there, we don't talk on YouTube. Pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Bloopers, behind the scenes as well, conspiracy theories, government conspiracy theories, etc. Transgender, rape, domestic violence, Iran, Israel, Palestine, government, universal, astronomical, cosmic, powers, or there different worlds, underworld,
Mm.
water world, sky, different things. All right. That's like a little bit too deep, YouTube sensitive. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so I like Patreon. Kind of lets it unveil, gets a different type of audience there. Not everybody's ready for those type of conversations on YouTube.
That's true.
Um, and then my books as well. I looked over, so that's why I saw. Links are in the description. Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Um, all the links are below. So you just click on each one, it will direct you to the right website. And then last but not least, we're also on major listening platforms. Apple, Spotify, iTunes,
Deezer,
that's Apple. Deezer,
Castbox,
Castbox. All right.
Overcast. Yeah. All right. Episode 197. Who is winning in the fight? Superman versus Batman. And why? This is gonna be easy for me to answer. Um I'm gonna pick Superman because he's superhuman and he has all these powers that he was born with. He comes from a place outside of this world. And Batman, what he has going for himself is that he's rich and he can afford to, get all these gadgets and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he's still just a regular man in a dress up suit, kind of. So that's why I pick Superman.
Mm-hmm. Um, Let me see. Yeah, so first and foremost, DC, Marvel,
I don't know which
people,
one the difference is, though.
um, DC is more like Batman, Superman. I would say
And
like they
Marvel.
originally from comic books. Marvel's like Iron Man, Spider
It's
Man,
too much, too much.
Avengers,
And
Thor.
then all the worlds that are intertwined is too
Mm,
much. I
yeah.
can't. I can't.
So just people who are into this stuff, grew up on them. I grew up on Superman 1, 2, Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, me too.
I watched those late. My pops actually introduced me to those movies.
That
was
makes
it,
more sense.
when I was able to see them, Clash of the Titans, all that. I didn't know them
Love
myself.
that. Yeah.
My pops would watch them, and then I would watch them, and then I would continue to watch them.
My
As I
dad
got
would
older, I got stuck into that. What?
my dad would watch Ben Hur. You know who that is?
Mm-mm.
It is one of the oldest movies ever made, and he has a it's a VHS that the man does. We
Mm.
we can't play it, but he still has it.
Um. Yeah. So just I think everybody knows who these characters are,
Mm-hmm.
but just in case for people who don't, just brief. Superman side, Kal-El, real name, planet Krypton, right? Parents shipped them to Earth. The planet was being corrupted by rulers, etc. And there was jealousy towards Jor-El, I think his father's name was. I gotta do my research back into the
Let me
story.
look up.
Yeah, and you know, the planet was going to be demolished. They wanted to save their son. Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody could be saved, and he felt like his son had a purpose um for the world, right? Which is kind of like the story, if you're biblical or religious, about God sending Jesus.
You're
Is
right, Jor-El.
Jarrell? Okay.
Amazing.
You heard what I said with the Bible?
Biblical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like that, the story. Superman originates from like ancient Egyptian, like
Really?
those powers. Like Superman was not really but white, just like
Really?
Jesus wasn't white.
Yeah, that I know.
So these indigenous people with these special powers and stuff come from ancient times. Like you know how they say he gets his power via sun.
Yeah.
Well, melanin people,
Yeah, that's
like
true.
when you have that, they get power from the sun. So just brief, right? I don't want to get too deep. Um, all right. So he had to learn how to manage his power because he didn't know that he was Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Clark Kent is what they called him. His Earth parents. I don't remember their names. Irrelevant, right? Just briefing. So then, he has the S. The S symbolifies hope. He said it's not really a S.
Really? I thought it was for super.
Well, I guess different stories. Like comic books are
Mm-hmm.
different,
Mm-hmm.
movies are different, but the story kind of stays the same. So S means hope.
Hmm.
Um, so okay, so we jumped into that part, and then
Batman.
Batman. Now, yes, from rich parents. Parents was killed in front of him. That gave him trauma,
As a
and
child too,
as a
he
child,
was.
and when he's a vigilante actually,
Mm-hmm.
who now wants to right the wrongs of criminals in Gotham. So he's a vigilante. Which is why he is Batman.
Mm.
Now, you're right. I think the gadgets, and I think most people would choose Superman.
I
It's
think
like
so too.
it's just a no-brainer if we put man versus man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we put Clark Kent on Batman, because I believe that Clark Kent is the costume for Superman, because
Mm-hmm.
Superman is born Superman. Batman's the costume for Bruce Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
because Bruce Wayne is just a regular man.
Right.
He puts on the costume that has all this extravagant stuff and gadgets and whatnot, and becomes a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
If we put man and man, of course, even Clark Kent. But I'm talking about Batman and Superman. So now you give him an advantage with gadget.
Superman can fly, and he has the lasers from his eyes, and he can make the chill with his breath
hmm
and X-ray vision. That's
So
cool.
by default, right? Easy pick,
That's what I
right?
say.
So the way I look at it is, Superman can be killed just like any man because
Wow.
because weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So once in the films Superman's weakness was found, that's what was weakening him.
Mm-hmm.
One was Lois Lane.
Mm.
One of the movies Batman used that. Cause at the end of the day, they looked at it like, yo, the government was like, yo, even though he's helping us right now, whatever, he's too powerful. He's an alien. What if he gets mad? He could turn that on us.
Hmm.
So we gotta figure out how to control him. Just to summarize, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Batman is would win because
Batman would win?
yes, because the way I'm looking at it is I'm looking at brains and bronze. From just watching the two, Superman is more brawn. I'm
Like
not saying,
hot-headed?
yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't have a brain,
Mm.
but
Hmm.
when you have brains and bronze, you're dangerous. But he was more bronze. So for people who Like, let's say, we had a nerd episode, right? They boost their intellectual superiority
Mm-hmm.
to get them out of certain situations. Other somebody else might use violence
You're
because
okay.
they might be got whatever you see your nerd self as a nerd is scrawny, weak, and they don't have just that confidence
Mm-hmm.
to go in there and be physical. So we're looking at the same thing. For human beings who are limited, we gotta boost other things up to help us survive. Superman automatically would not think. He would not think. He would just use his
Powers.
physical powers,
Mm-hmm.
his X-ray vision, his rays eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? He would just instinctively try to get into a dangerous situation, violence or whatever it is.
That's true.
Whereas someone like Batman is limited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he can't fly, so he
Right.
has to use those gadgets to like swing and stuff like that.
So
And
he
then
has to
and
be
then
more calculating.
yeah, then he
Mm-hmm.
has the what do you call them? Maybe wings
Mm-hmm.
to kind of glide, but he
Mm-hmm.
can't fly like a kite
Right.
type.
Yep.
So he has to use that. So he's gonna, like you said, be more calculating. He's gonna figure out Superman's weakness and kryptonite,
Hmm.
and then now use that in like perhaps kryptonite bullets,
Oh yeah.
gas, whatever it is. And now, like we could say Superman's a god. Now God kneels. Like
Mm.
that's was in one of the movies that Lex Luthor used the mom, Martha. And then why do I remember the mom's name and not the dad? Maybe his name was Kenneth. You could look
Now
these
I'm
things
gonna.
up.
Now I am
Um
gonna.
so he used Martha and he was like, "Oh, if you hurt me, blah blah blah, she gonna die, right?" So then at that moment he was like, "Oh, now God
Jonathan.
Jonathan, okay. So now was I right with Martha?
I'm looking.
Now God kneels to me," he was saying in that.
Mm.
If you think about it, right? I think
It's
that
crazy. Martha.
right? Okay. I think that bronze no. Brains beat brawn.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like look at Iron Man. The
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man. I don't know. Iron Man was Marvel. So
Yeah,
look,
but still, I mean, they crossed anyway.
yeah, they did. Avengers and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, when
No,
they fought
Avengers is
each
Marvel.
other, when they fought each other,
Oh yeah.
I didn't see it, but my kids saw it.
So Iron Man, right? Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Billionaire.
Yeah, but he
Without
is smart though.
yes, without the suit, is he really that?
Well, no, he built the suit because he was gonna die. Remember in the beginning
Yes, you're
part?
right. But I'm just saying in
Without it,
general,
yeah, you're right.
so if you think about it, the brains can always beat the bronze because if you think that you have more brawn than brain, it's not equal.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have time to be calculating. Just instinct. You're gonna be like, I could get myself out of any situation by brute force. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, this table needs whatever instinct. But you're
Yeah.
not. But the calculating person would be like, table flipped over. What made it flip over? Let me
Mm-hmm.
let me see how I'm gonna handle this. The brute strength person who's just relying on that, who has little brain,
Mm-hmm.
or even like, let's not say that. Let's say it's just their major asset that they're just used to using.
Right. So they're
Like
like they
like
act before they think because
y-
they know that they're strong enough to
yeah,
do it.
and I'm gonna give you another example to make people understand more. A beautiful, like gorgeous woman who's sexy as well, body done, or etc. Like she's probably used to using manipulation,
Or
beauty
beauty.
tactics to get what she wants. So even if she's an intellectual, when it's time for survival mode kick in, when it's time for survival, I gotta pick one of them. When it's time for survival or survival mode kicks in, um, they just go back to what they know instinctly. So
Yeah.
that's what Superman would do. Even
Mm-hmm.
if we're like saying, "Oh yeah, he's pretty smart too."
Right. Right.
He's gonna instinctively run to that fear, be himself. So men react to fear differently. Like fear, if God forbid a trespasser comes in, you're gonna see me get violent like you never seen me get violent before.
Mhm.
Fear. You know what I'm saying? So due to fear, I work for the people. I'm a people's champion. That person needs help. Fear right there for him is also, but also they need me. I'm here for a duty. The S means hope. For them to have hope in me, I'm here for a duty, right? To save. So fear for him kicks in. What is he doing instinctively? Using his brute strength. He's gonna fly like he's faster than a speeding bullet. He's gonna go help them. He's gonna pick up the woman, maybe carry her. That's physical.
Yeah.
Use certain things as X-ray vision without even thinking. Help me. And he has that extensive hearing that's enhanced, right? So he could hear shit like mile away, and then he knows where they are at.
Right.
Boom, he zooms over there instinctively. So that's how Lex Luthor or Batman can get him.
Oh, they trapped him.
You know what I'm saying? Because he
didn't stop and think. He just reacted. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
So I'm looking at it like we're not putting Lex Luthor in this. It's Batman versus Superman. But I'm trying to stay on.
Right.
I'm not trying to get off the tangent because I don't want them to, get lost.
Right.
Like they're not. Like my brain works too quickly,
fast.
so I gotta slow it down for people. So with that, like we're doing Batman and Superman. Batman has time. He has time to learn them, has time to study him, has time to plan what he's doing. If it was a battle, like let's say it was okay, it's Superman versus Batman. Who's buying your tickets? Who's buying your tickets now? Superman's just gonna be like this. I don't even need to lift weights. Like this is all natural. I'm gotta no protein shakes. I don't gotta do nothing. No running to prepare for my stamina and endurance. He's just like laying on the thing, with his feet crossed or whatever, just yawning. When will this be over? I'm gonna obliterate this fool in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
In 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna use my natural abilities. Batman knows that he don't have a chance. So for him, he has to dive into more of his cerebral. You know what I'm saying? To get more in tune.
I also think that he probably wouldn't want to waste his opportunities to get him. You know what I mean? Like Superman can fly and he'll come back later, or he could do that stuff, but he doesn't. He's limited to what he can do, so he doesn't want to just take the shot and then ruin his chances of actually getting him. That's why he has to be more calculating. That's what I think. But I what you say makes sense. I didn't think about it like that. I just thought what was more natural. Like somebody who flies can.
And that's what I like. And that's what I like about not putting extra context or extra in the sentence. It's just who would win in the fight.
Right.
And then if I was to put extra in it, then it's like, oh, you're talking about natural? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about if it was in the air, if the fight was in the air. Oh, you're talking about if the fight was on the ground. Oh, you're talking about if he got the Batmobile or whatever he flies with. And then with that versus flying Superman, oh, we're talking about no superpowers from Superman.
Or if he was more cerebral.
Yeah. So
you're good, man. You're good at making people think.
So I'm thinking that Batman can definitely and you know what, he had like people working for him. Alfred and stuff like that, the other person who was making the gadgets, Robin. But Superman didn't really have a team because he really didn't need a team. He was a one-man army. So when I look at this and I dissect it, this is the thing about it. I'm glad this happened. You just did instinct, and then I just went with calculation.
You went deep.
Yeah. So it would be the same thing with Superman and Batman. Superman would go with instinct. Batman can't. Right. He cannot. He knows that it's fathomably impossible.
Right.
It's not fathomably possible for me to go in a like it's almost
Like a
like,
toe to
yo,
toe.
you brought a knife to a gunfight. That metaphor.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. I'm not gonna win if it's just gonna be straight brute strength. It's impossible.
Right.
Like I'm gonna be punching brick walls with like bare hands. That's harming me. Like if I try to ran into him, it's gonna feel like I'm running into a titanium. He's not even gonna budge. I'm gonna try to punch him in the stomach, and my knuckles are gonna hurt. That's what it was with Superman. So he's not gonna think. He's not gonna think I could win just straight up with him. Like I gotta. Maybe some people would say cheat,
Yeah.
like a
That's what they
cheat
say.
code to those video game guys.
Yeah.
Um, like I need strategy. I need objects. I need gadgets. I need this. I need to do more research to find out weaknesses. You see what I'm saying? So I think that brains will always win.
I
I
think so
think
too.
brains will.
I just
Yeah,
didn't think.
because if you think about brains, right, and this goes back to like even life, like we talk about relationships, workplace, and stuff like that. The person who's the hothead versus the one who's more methodical and calculating.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
the
true.
person who's the hothead doesn't have the opposite of the other one. So the other one has emotional intelligence because the emotional intelligence is helping them identify circumstances, not react, be logical, think, give
Come up with a
time,
plan.
come
Yeah.
up with a plan. The instinct person is just going off of impulse, fear, survival, whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
they're reacting off of that based off what they know. See, Superman natural, Batman natural. Batman's not naturally a superhero. He wasn't born like that. So how like he has to like think. Whereas Superman, that's his birthright.
Right.
So he's gonna just go instinct because it's just natural for me to like fight evil.
Mm-hmm.
And in Batman, it's like, yo, I had to adopt that side of me because I saw my parents get killed in front of me. So I was a silver spoon kid who was probably destined to do other things. Yeah, I'm a billionaire because I inherited it. I'm sorry, I inherited it from the parents that passed away. And I was able to get into these endeavors, hire a team to build these endeavors, enterprises, and whatnot. I really didn't have to work. So I'm getting more into the depth of the movies. Like this is not behind the scenes. They didn't write
That's
no
true.
books about Batman and stuff like that. I'm getting more in depth in the movies as if they were to run this back and be like, well, how did
Right, how'd
you
you get
create Batman? How did you understand? So in that regard, it comes down to natural and not natural. When Bruce Wayne, the fictional character, needs to turn into Batman, the fictional vigilante, to get to the superhero status.
Yep, that's true.
Superman was born that way. Natural abilities. He has to downgrade to Clark Kent, which is his costume. It's the opposite of Bruce Wayne. Clark Kent is his costume, so he can blend in. Because if he allows the world to really know who he is, what he's capable of, it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
You're not always gonna get everybody that's gonna be, yay, Superman! Yay, you always help us. No,
That's true.
you're gonna get people like the government that's like, yeah, well, he's still an alien. What if he gets mad one day and blows up a planet? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying this what they said in the movies.
Right. No, I know.
But there was a scene with like the newer version of Superman. I think Man of Steel 2013 and whatnot. I don't remember the character's name.
I don't know.
He was in the courthouse.
Okay.
And then Lex Luthor made that courthouse blow up, and then he was like, Superman's gonna get blamed for this.
Oh, really? I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like part of the newer ones. So he wanted the government to be against him so it could be easier for him to kill Superman.
So were they against him?
Yeah, because who else was there that could blow it up? They had people already search the building and stuff like that for potential bombs. So how can that
How did
happen?
it
And the
happen?
news is just looking at what they see. They're not able to see behind the scenes. So they're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, Superman was in the courtroom. He got mad, blew up the whole thing. But he's innocent. See, Lex Luthor set him up. It's
Mm-hmm.
always part of the
Bastard.
plan. So he got to be more strategic. It would, like, if they had time, Batman wins. If it's just instant, like, yo, y'all gotta fight right now. Like
Right.
right now.
He's
It's
gonna
like
lose.
it's not because Batman don't even know nothing about Superman to get the guy Alfred or whoever was making his gadgets the weakness. Oh, he has kryptonite. Let's create kryptonite
Mm.
smoke
Right.
and throw that at him. You know what I'm saying? Bullets, whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have time. He doesn't know what he's dealing with. Superman doesn't need to have time to know what he's dealing with because
Mm.
he has these natural abilities that he's just gonna use his natural instinctive nature and just attack
Mm.
physically.
Just
And
attack.
that monster could be built out of kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't even know that. And he's just hitting. See, this goes back full circle, like in the beginning. He's not even thinking that because he didn't get to dissect the monster. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, oh, and like so, like what I'm telling you is this is a metaphor of life. Like
Right.
I'm like blanketing it into this Superman versus Batman,
Right.
but it's like a metaphor that I'm using. So now he's going into that beast like, yo, I could just go right through him. I could just fly right through him and create that hole inside of him and he'll be dead. Flies right
Mm-hmm.
through him, comes out on the other side mad weak. Like literally falls to the ground. Can't even fly anymore. What's going on? Monster picks him up, throwing him around. He's weak because the monster's made out of kryptonite. The shit from his planet that's like
Right. That makes
toxic
him.
to him.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Poison.
poison.
Wow.
You know, so
Wait, was this in a movie or this is just you saying?
um no, I don't think so. I don't
Wow.
think so.
Look at
I think
that.
it's just me saying.
Your writer instincts are kicking in, man. I was like, wow, that happened.
So don't quote me. Maybe it has, I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
But but like I think you got time, like yo, Superman, you gotta verse Batman. Everybody buy tickets. You got 2 weeks to prepare.
Hmm.
Yo, Batman's gonna win.
Yeah, because Superman's not gonna prepare because he sees Batman as just a man.
He's underestimating him.
Mm-hmm. He's almost
That's the
narcissistic.
word I was looking
That's what
for.
I saw in especially the newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he was taken over by something.
That's
But
the
I don't
word.
know. But he seems to be like, well, I'm Superman and you're not.
Yes. So he is also taking his opponent lightly. He's
Yes.
underestimating him.
Yes.
And this goes back to what he's used to. Superman's underestimating because of what he's used to doing.
Mm.
You know?
It's almost like Juggernaut.
Yeah.
He just
And
barrels right
X-Men.
through X-Men, yeah.
Mm.
But I guess they use him for that because he can, except for metal balls or something like that. I know there's something that he can't run through either.
Mm.
And the only movie that I saw with him in, he runs into everything else, and then he gets to that wall and boom, he knocks himself out.
Yeah.
It's brawn versus brain, you see?
Yeah. You know, so
And also, did you know that? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know how it is now, but back in the days, the armed forces, they
mm-hmm.
would always send the army first
Yeah.
because they're like just send the bronze in there, then the
Then the
Marines,
Marines.
then the Navy, then the Air
Mm-hmm.
Force.
Yep.
It was harder to get into those. Not really Army. Tito.
Yeah, so I think brains beat bronze. If you have both, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. That's a
But
deadly combination.
but
I only have brains, no bronze.
brains, I think brains beat bronze because there's so many things that can create it from brain. Remember we talk
Mm-hmm.
about Iron Man, but it's not part of this topic,
Mm-hmm.
but it's similar. He physically without that suit, he probably can't fight.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
know,
probably
so he
die.
uses his brain to now
Mm-hmm.
augment these powers that he created with this costume. You know, so now when you look at Batman, he's doing the same thing because as a mere mortal, mere man, he's going up against a god.
Except I think Batman, and I know that he's not part of it, Iron Man, but Batman pays somebody to do the upgrades to his vehicles and all that
Yep,
stuff. Iron Man, he
he was
made
there.
his own thing in a cave
Yeah, he
to
was there.
survive.
Well,
like he still does it.
Yeah, see, then this is
More
this is, and this
brains.
is the difference. Yup, that's the difference too
Yup.
with them too. I would say Iron Man, Spark was his name, right? John
Stark.
Stark. He even you're right. Even with that, that's more brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's more brain. So if it was a situation where it's like Iron Man versus Superman, I mean, I think Iron Man would still lose, but it's not this. It's tough because he just doesn't have those sustainabilities. Like if Batman knew Superman's weakness, he creates a kryptonite barrier on his suit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now like if Superman tries to punch him, it might hurt him, but not as much because Superman can't put 100% force.
Right,
Because
of
once
it.
he gets there, it's like it's not. It slows down a little bit, even though it's going fast. Once he gets there, it's slowing down a little because like
kryptonite?
the essence of the kryptonite, the energy, the aura of it is now like
Stopping
in
him.
his cells.
Right.
So now he's like he's not giving it force, so it might hurt him still, but it's not 100% in that regard. So now if he got hurt and he's like looking at his knuckles like, damn, that doesn't usually happen. What's going on? He's unaware of it. Now Batman punches him. He's flying like a regular man because remember his suit's made out of kryptonite. So ultimately, the brains I feel like will win in the end, because you're looking at it in regards to they're putting in more work. Bronze is just instinct and it's not even thought of. Just going back to what you know. Here's another one. Just jumping off topic. I'm into these childhood sitcoms. Family Matters.
Yeah.
You probably never seen it, right? Or you
Yeah.
would watch? Okay. So Family Matters, Steve Urkel.
Okay.
There was a contest for Laura's love, and I think she would. If I win, you stay out of Laura's life forever. But if Steve wins, you're gone,
Okay.
right? To that guy. So it was rope climbing, and they were timed, and you have to touch the board. We did it in high school, middle school too. I don't know if you did it, but I did it in high school, middle school. So Steve, when he attempted, remember, he's considered a nerd, quote unquote, subjective, and he's scrawny. So he couldn't even like get past the first. Like, he couldn't even lift off the ground. Everybody was laughing. Steve said he was determined. He was like, "I'm gonna get the top." Remember, Steve used his brain. He said the goal was to get to the top and touch it. Then nobody put stipulations on how to get there.
How did he get there?
So I'm gonna tell you, and I'm sorry to ruin it for people, but they won't know the episode. They'll have to like Google it to find. So Steve created this robot kind of where like Iron Man, he got into the robot, and what it was is aerodynamics and stuff, and it it was there was a I forgot what it's called, but it was like kind of like this huge exhaust where smoke will come out and that will elevate him. It's like a jetpack. That's what I'm looking for, like a jetpack. So
I remember it.
That was created, and then when he walked into the gymnasium, the coach was like, everybody was laughing at him. And they were like, "Oh, Urkel, like Steve Urkel, like Urkel, what are you wearing?" Like they were clowning him. So the jock went and he did his thing. Boom, it's quick. He came back. This is what he does. The coach was like, "Wow, you new record. You beat your last record. New record." And now Steve has the remote control to this robot thing with the damn my fucking memory. It's amazing. It has a cord to it, if I remember right. And the coach says, "On your mark, get set, go." Dude didn't even lift off yet. Presses the button, and it's going, it's vibrating, it's vibrating. Then he finally takes off, and then he touches it, and he says, the coach is yelling, "Oh my God, new record, new record!" But there's so much smoke coming down that he's trying to avoid it, but yelling
Mm.
away from the smoke, and everybody's, scatters. Steve starts flying, and then now like Laura's looking at him and amazed and stuff, and everybody's amazed, and then I think he brought somebody up with him, and then he finally lands down. Now, mind you, even Laura was looking at him like a star,
How interesting.
which is like, the whole nerd thing. She didn't like the way he was being treated by that jock or whatever. She actually saw, wow, he doesn't, like, he's good looking, but he has no heart. He's not compassionate. Like, so she was turned off a little bit. Um, but at that moment, she gained that. Mind you, this is like children actors. So they're
Wow.
acting like real life, because they are real life people, obviously, but they're acting like real. The
Yeah.
actors, the
That's-
writers were amazing, and the directors, because that's how a child would behave. They wouldn't know what to value yet. Instinctively getting back into human nature, the woman was valuing his mind. So she was amazed. Like, they were amazed because they they saw the gadget, they saw the robot, they laughed at it, they judged it, they didn't know what it could do. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't predictable. They didn't know what it could do. Like, how's he gonna fucking climb the rope in that? Probably what they thought, right? If I was in the show. And then it happens, and then he becomes the man, right? He becomes the man with everybody, and then now, boom. So that's another example of brute strength or bronze and brain.
That's true.
So brain will always win in the end.
I agree.
That's what I feel. So that's why I think Superman would lose to Batman.
No, that I mean
Because-
your point made a lot of sense.
Because like the way I'm looking at it, it's not just a physical fight. Because
Right.
we didn't put any of those
That's
things.
true too.
So when we give in context now, it's not just a physical fight. It can be like, what if it says Batman versus Superman in chess, and Superman's like, what is in game?
Yeah.
What is this Earthling? Do the Earthlings do like what is going on? Because
Right, he
remember,
wouldn't get
they
it.
thought of him as an alien.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? Alien's just like somebody that's just not from here.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So they thought him, but the reality is he's a god. He's a god with
And that's how they
godly
treat him.
powers.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about what type of fight.
That's true.
So I think in the entirety of that, even Batman has more time to have emotional intelligence than Superman. So even with all those powers he has, because he's looking at
Superman?
he's hearing the woman screaming, from a distance. That he could see it, fire, whatever, the future, blah blah blah. He's foreseeing it.
I didn't know that.
No, I'm just giving a hypothetical.
Oh, I was like,
he's
he's the
he's
future?
foreseeing it. He's doing those things. Superman was able to go back in time. I remember I was
when
watching the
when he
old
was
one,
flying backwards.
So
Well,
he
not
went out into the
atmosphere.
space,
Yeah.
and then he just kept going around to spin the
backwards.
Earth
Yeah.
to make time go back.
Yeah.
So,
That was a really great scene.
yeah, they had a lot in the beginning Superman, like with Christopher Reeve. I can't believe I remember. I haven't watched it in years.
Can't me either. That's a long time.
But when you have that, it's like you're just looking at your abilities just by nature. It's like Superman has 100 things that he can do at ease, and you're just thinking Batman has one thing, just the suit. But when you really, really like take time and look at this in every aspect, Batman has a lot more time to plan for Superman's demise.
Definitely.
So that's why I would go with Batman
Batman.
versus Superman.
Yeah.
Brains over brawn.
Plus, also, if he knows that he's going up against Superman, he's gonna know he has superpowers, and like I said before, he's gonna be like, I need to come up with a foolproof, foolproof plan so that I don't miss this shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's Superman. Imagine he misses,
Yeah.
and now he has to reload or whatever he has to do.
Superman would already be in his face.
Yeah.
Like you're
Break
shooting
his
at
neck.
you're shooting at like 50 miles away, and then it's like you miss, and he could already see where it's coming from because of his instincts, like Spidey senses, peripherals. And then he's just like, oh, it's right there. Zooms over there in 2 seconds. Right when you're trying to reload, he's all up. He's in your
That's
face.
so scary. Yeah.
You know. I think that was a scene in Superman versus Batman. I think this was a movie. Yeah.
I didn't watch that one. Is that the one with Ben Affleck as Batman?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like Ben Affleck.
So I think that was. I think that happened. So yeah, natural abilities, easy. But that for like if I had final thoughts to say, which we're gonna get into, I would say, don't underestimate everybody. That's what I would say.
Excuse me.
That's what I would say. Because
you get surprised.
Yeah.
And sometimes not in a good way when you do that. So are we up to final thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my final thoughts on who is winning a fight. Initially, I said Superman versus Batman, and because of the reasons that we stated, that's just my go-to because I just already saw. Well, he has superhuman strength, and he, has all these superpowers, and Batman is just a man. Without putting into account, well, that's true. Because Batman is just a man, he needs to rely on more, brains, using his intellect or working with others to get things that will help him in defeating whoever it is. We're specifically talking about Superman.
Like intuition too.
Mm-hmm. So listening to you explain things like that, I guess I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna say Batman.
I'm surprised you're surprised that I went with Batman.
I was surprised. I was like, what? Like, and then I said to myself, did you pick wrong?
You thought there's no right or wrong answer.
No, I know.
Like you thought I was gonna go with Superman?
Yeah, because he's naturally like that. No way. But I didn't put into account about because the other one isn't naturally like that, he needs to prepare more.
Yeah. I'm a technical beast.
Yeah, I know you are.
This sentence is just plain.
Yeah.
Who is winning Batman versus Superman? If we put who is winning in a fight, Batman versus Superman in this time.
Right.
Back then, in a boxing ring, in the air, on the ground, in the water.
Both as regular men.
Yeah.
Both with powers.
Yeah. You can't use special powers. He can. Like now we add stipulations. Like it's just plain.
Yeah.
So when we look at it, there's no time frame. He's gonna have a lot more time to prepare.
Yep.
And then now it's detrimental. So Superman, right? Because what these villains was doing is they was like stalking him. And they was like finding out because they wanted to defeat him, right? So they was like, yo, every man gotta have a weakness, even if he is Superman. That's how Lex Luthor thought. So when he found certain things like Lois Lane or whatever, like there was a scene in I think Superman 2 when he broke up with her. She knew who he was, and she was just like, oh, I'm trying not to be jealous, but I know the world needs Superman. I would rather have you all to myself, but I know that you're here for a purpose. And he was like, I can't be involved with you because danger. Right. And I'd rather have like your safety, whatever. It wasn't verbatim, right? So there wasn't even a scene like that. And she was like, oh, I want to feel sad, but I know you're doing the right thing and whatever. So if you look at it, they're gonna find a weakness eventually. So it's because you're making yourself readily available. Superman, that's what he's doing. He's out there, he's this, that, whatever. You got people trailing him or whatever. He's making himself relatively available to everybody. Everybody needs help. Superman is saving everybody. He's not picking and choosing.
He's like, come on.
You know, so they could be like, yo, all this brolic big god, people are his weakness. So I can use that. You know, there was a villain out there, like Lex Luthor or whatever it is. We found out kryptonite is his weakness, whatever. So now when you look at it, breaking it down, I think that the brains will win in many circumstances.
Yes, I believe so too.
You know, relationships, things happen, chaos, drama, trauma, you know, stop, think, plan, you know, be logical. Like all of these things will help in not reacting, not throwing things, not abusing him, not abusing her. You know, not making emotional steps like I'm walking away from this job today because I just didn't like how my day went. Meanwhile, you make a lot of money there. Like, do you have a backup?
You better.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this will allow you to do that versus what I would say like Batman and Superman. Batman being more emotional, intelligent, using his brain because he has no choice.
Yeah.
He has no choice. You know, he doesn't have the advantages that Superman does.
Yeah. Plus, he was also raised like an orphan. He only had the butler.
Yeah.
And Superman had the love of, you know, who was her name? Carol? Wendy?
Jor-El and his mom.
No. What's the mom's name? The American.
Martha.
Yeah. Martha loved him. They
Parents.
both loved him, yeah.
2 sets of parents.
Poor Batman, when he have nothing, Tito.
Yeah, so, brains.
I agree.
And you know, at the end of the day, Batman probably don't have nothing to lose. Whereas Superman would probably, like, hesitate to certain things.
Because the world needs him. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, your mom is, like, in dire need because Lex Luthor got her. But then you got a woman that's tied. You remember those, like, little cartoon movie, tied on the railroad tracks. And the train is coming. It keeps honking. It's coming. Like, what are you going to do? Are you able to be in 2 places at once? I know you're fast, but they're on the other side of the world. So it's like, it can be exhausting in that regard, but what he's built for that. Right?
That's so funny because that actually did happen in Batman. What? Remember when was it the Joker that took the girl and then what's his name Dark. And he was like pick
my favorite Batman in this new era, like the I think the 2000s era. Or the 2015s era. I forgot what year it came out. And on that one with Heath Ledger, I think that's the best Joker of all time. That was amazing. Like when I was doing research, Heath Ledger actually asked Christian Bale to really hit him. Like he was a method actor. Yeah. In the interrogation scene. Yeah. So in that moment when he puts him up against the wall, he says, "Okay, you're gonna have to break one of your rules. Yeah. The only way you can survive in this world is by not really living by rules. And today you're gonna have to break one of your rules." God damn, I can't remember. I remember that verbatim. It's crazy. 2008, Dark Knight. One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite Jokers.
Yeah, the best Joker.
So in that moment, he's like, when you know, I thought it was Harvey, that was Batman. But the way you threw yourself at her, that's all he said. He didn't say who it was, Rachel. The way you threw yourself at her. And he's like, where are they? Okay, you're going to have to choose. This one's over here, blah, blah, blah. And that one's over there. So, yeah, that scene was good. So now he's controlling Batman. Yeah. You know, so Joker, that's a perfect example, too. Because now we talking about Superman versus Batman. We talking about Joker versus Batman. Yeah. Whereas the same thing. Gadgets, brute strength, whatever. He's using things. Now Batman's not emotional intelligent. He's going off the handle. Joker's calm. He's laughing. Calm. You keep hitting me and stuff like that, but I'm the solution to your problem.
Right.
He's calm and now he's using his brain. Remember the boat situation? One
Mm-hmm.
person's gonna blow somebody up. What was his test for
He wanted
corrupt?
to prove,
Yeah, he wanted to prove
yeah,
that people are corrupt. Remember that
that they would
scene?
save themselves. They would kill somebody else to save
Yes,
themselves.
because he was trying to prove that scene to him when they were sitting across, and he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "You're scum," and he said, "Don't talk like them.
Mm-hmm.
They need you now, but just like a leopard, they'll cast you out. These civilized people, once their chips are down, they'll eat each
Yeah.
other. The moment they don't need you anymore, they're gonna cast you out like a leopard." He's like, "I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve."
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he started beating them up.
Yeah.
He was trying to
That
prove
was a good
that.
scene.
He was trying to prove that.
Yeah.
You know,
And he was
I
pissed
don't,
because it didn't
I
happen.
don't want to jump
Yeah,
off
no, because now we're going into
because
different
there's
damn
some
movies.
different. Yeah,
But it
maybe
still
that's
fit in the thing though. Brute
yeah.
strength and smarts.
So yeah, so I would say don't underestimate people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and I've always like tried to, even with my team, strengthen those weaknesses or really not focus on them. It's like even a
Mm.
relationship where I'm the leader and the coach of that relationship. And they're coachable, the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, they're willing to let me guide them and follow and be educated and listen and have patience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, strengthen those weaknesses, but focus more on the strengths. A
Yeah,
lot of times the weaknesses are not really, sometimes they're irrelevant.
that's true.
Um, so I think that don't underestimate people. Um, and be more calculating in life. That's how I kind of attack this topic. You know, instinctively, I had time to think about it. But when I was a lot younger,
It was harder.
I'm in my late 30s, and when I was like, you know what, um, Superman. But then
Mm,
when I got older and I started watching and really doing research, I'm like, wait a minute, Batman would have time to plan.
that's true.
Brains will beat brute strength. If that's all we had to go on,
Yeah,
right? Brute strength, speed, agility, elusiveness, uh, uh, um, aggression, right? Like and just go off that, right? High levels of testosterone, and then only brains
yeah,
that's dominant. Like the brains will win
I think so too.
because even like let's say they were to fight, like it's two high schoolers, like the one with the brain could probably talk himself out of that. The girl with the brain could
Definitely.
probably talk themselves out of it.
I agree with that 100%.
So the brains is very, very powerful.
I think so too.
And then it will link with the spirit and the emotions too. So, like we always talk about like knowing yourself, healing. Like if you can like educate yourself, and then you're gonna start healing your mind, and then now you're gonna start moving different. Energy is gonna be different and whatnot. It's like it
Yeah,
starts with the brain.
yeah.
Brain is like toxified.
Can I add on to yours because
Mm.
I didn't know that you were gonna come out of with like deep thoughts.
Yeah.
I thought we were just totally talking about them too. I would say learn how to control your energy. Don't just rush into a situation out of fear or desperation or anything like that. Like learn how to calm yourself so that you don't make that kind of a mistake. Or any type of mistake that you're gonna later on regret. Like have patience. Practice your patience because if you are in a situation where like that's what it depends on your patience is gonna save you. It's gonna help you bring out that those thoughts that the patience is gonna give you the opportunity to think to dive into, all right, let's see where I can come up with the solution instead of just rushing in there. That's what I would say in regular life.
Yeah, I think that has to be taught.
Yeah.
And like for me, right? I've had everybody has their ups and downs.
Yeah.
Like even now, like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say I'm perfect. So I'm gonna be a little vulnerable real quick, and then we'll end. When I could feel like maybe I'm about to get on the brink of depression or sadness or regret or whatever it is. Like I go back to what brings me out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I will probably be quiet, silent, like people won't hear from me. I'm thinking, I'm planning, I'm doing things that will counter that, like gym.
Mm-hmm.
If I have aggression and I do want to be violent, I hit the speed bag, heavy bag, lift weights, go heavier, um, go to the park,
Mm-hmm.
uh, roll a
That's a good one.
blunt, meditate, and actually not be reactive,
Yeah.
but be proactive at the
Pray.
solution,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ask the ancestors, God, for guidance, whatever, provision.
Mm-hmm.
Um, doing that now, maybe younger because I was not aware. So I think a lot of times, if you know better, you do better. A lot of
You
people
should.
don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't. They know better, but it's like it's easier to not do better.
Yep.
But I think at some point when you get to their past and you're like, okay, I was doing this, I was doing that, I was in the streets, I was selling my body, whatever it is, men, women, whatever, doing this evil stuff. You weren't aware. Maybe you're a product of your environment. You're around the people you aren't supposed to be around. Then when you get the education and you continue to do that still,
That's a
then
problem.
those people, I don't feel sorry for them. Men,
Mm-hmm.
women, because they're not taking accountability.
Yeah.
They know better now, but
But they choose
they
not to.
choose to
That's
go the other route.
crazy.
And most of the time, it's always like it's just easier.
Mm-hmm.
That's most of the time.
Like you heard that saying, they turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that you know, we can, be a beacon of light for opportunities of education. And I think that when people can actually get the education, like I remember that episode where I had the bullet of circumstance or education.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're all gonna get into circumstances, but when you get the education, now you have the opportunity to apply it. Applied knowledge now becomes power.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowledge is power, like applied knowledge
Yep.
becomes power. So if you think about it, um, the people that actually have the education, you give them a choice. Circumstance don't give you choice.
That's true. Damn, you're good.
But
You're
when I said that in that episode,
you're on it
you was
today.
battling me.
Yeah, I know. Because we're not gonna rehash that. Go back to that. What
Yeah.
episode was that? Just watch all of them.
Yeah. So if you think about it, education gives people choice. Circumstance don't. Like if you're and I use this example and I'll use it again because maybe a lot of people have a good memory. Um, let's say you're a man, boy trying to be a man, girl trying to be a woman, and you're born with a single parent. Like you never saw your dad. You grew up without him. Left when you were an infant. So that's your circumstance. But as you get older and you start educating yourself, and you don't let yourself become a product of your environment. You change that circumstance. That's you getting the education and saying, I'm gonna change my life. Like I'm gonna be better. I'm not gonna have this be like a generational curse. Like the woman is saying, I'm not gonna be a single mom.
Yep.
You know
This
what I'm
ends
saying?
right here, yeah.
The guy is gonna be like, I'm not gonna be a single dad.
Or a deadbeat dad. Yeah.
Whatever it is. Or maybe he's like being raised feminine, but he's like, oh, I refuse to do this. Now that I know, I'm gonna be as masculine as possible. I'm gonna associate myself around masculine guys, watch masculine things, engage in masculine activities, do this, go to the gym, pray, stuff of that nature
Yeah.
to reinforce that. That's the education. They see the result. Um, so
That's true.
that's where I come down to it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, real, no holds barred, disciplinary podcast.
Peace.